Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and I'm just gonna get this right out there off the bat. If you do not enjoy my Atari VCS coverage, you probably either want to mute me or unsubscribe from me, because this is definitely not gonna be the last video that I make regarding the Atari VCS. If you do enjoy me talking about it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the response Atari just gave me. Smash JT. For those of you who missed my video on me sending out an email to the Atari VCS team regarding wanting some more information on this, let me catch you up real quick. I'll put it on the screen right now, but basically the gist of the email was saying, I'm sensing this is a scam and you guys aren't really doing a good job of explaining yourselves. You should probably come out and have a conversation with either myself or other reputable YouTubers out there so that we have the facts on the table for you guys, so there's no questions going forward about the legitimacy regarding the Atari VCS. And the response I just received from this email has me even more concerned for the backers of this project. Hello Jeff, thanks for reaching out. The Atari team is concerned about its fans above all else and is doing its best. Give them a product they will love. I think they meant to say to give them a product they will love. We have CC'd our PR team at Uber Strategist, which is the best place to start. Thanks for being a fan, the Atari VCS team. That should probably just end by saying thanks for the inquiry Michael Arts, because as we discussed in my previous video, Michael Arts is the head of the Atari VCS, and as far as I can tell, he's the only person over there right now. I have yet to see another person step forward and say, hey, my name is so-and-so and I also work on the Atari VCS. But regardless of how they ended that email, let's talk about Uber Strategist, which apparently is headed by one dude as well. His name is Mario Kroll, and he's apparently worked in the video game industry for over 20 years. And what Uber Strategist does is basically be a marketing department to provide positive publicity for whatever product has hired them to do so. And in case you're wondering, there's a retainer of about $5,000 to $15,000 a month for their services that the Atari VCS is most likely paying for, so that they have their own PR department, which is basically just positive marketing spin. And that's ironic because, as we discussed in my previous video, Michael Arts is basically just a marketing guy, and he's outsourcing the marketing for the Atari VCS. But regardless of that, let's talk a little bit more about Uber Strategist. Uber Strategist is a boutique video game PR agency with team members in Raleigh, New York, Los Angeles, the San Francisco Bay Area, and Toronto, Canada. We specialize in positive publicity, effective promotion, and high-value partnerships for interactive entertainment clients worldwide, and work with major publishers, indie devs, technology companies, and non-profits. And that's all well and good. I'm not questioning what this company Uber Strategist does. I'm sure it's a great benefit to any video game companies or text-based places that are trying to get a positive name out there for themselves. But the problem I have with this is I asked specifically to speak to someone at Atari VCS about what the hell's going on with the Atari VCS, and they, Michael Arts, can't come forward and have an open discussion because most likely he's afraid of screwing it up and making himself look even worse, or even worse than that, completely exposing the utter fraud of what the Atari VCS is. So now this guy who's heading the Atari VCS has outsourced his marketing to a place that states in their mission statement that their focus is a positive spin on publicity. They're not trying to give information, they're not trying to answer questions, they're just trying to spin anything in a positive way, and that is the furthest thing from what people are trying to find out about the Atari VCS. I don't want fluff, I don't want someone giving me lip service about what the Atari VCS hopes to be. I want some answers as to what the Atari VCS is, what's happening with the money of this $3 million of investors from Indiegogo, what's happening with that. Is there a console? How come you haven't showed anything yet? When's it coming? Why are you taking people's money? Not having anything in response for them, not having anything to show them, faking footage, lying about it, calling out YouTubers, and then when YouTubers come for more answers to you, you direct them to an external site that gives positive spin about your product. This is a really, really bad situation, and I hate to keep hitting home on how scary this entire situation is with the scam of what the Atari VCS looks like it's turning out to be. If I didn't provide this information from the email to you guys, I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice because I wouldn't be fully honest and transparent with you. This is exactly what's happening up to this point. I haven't spoken to Uber strategists yet. I'm sure I will, and I can't wait for that, and I'll definitely make a video on that once I do. But I already know going into it that I'm going to be disappointed because it's not Atari VCS doing the talking. It's someone else giving lip service that's being paid $5,000 to $15,000 a month to make sure that people who are asking questions get a positive spin on something instead of getting the truth. And all people want about the Atari VCS, whether it's me or another YouTuber, is the truth. And I feel like that shouldn't be something that people should be worried about asking. They shouldn't be afraid to say, hey, we want more information on this. We have given you nearly $3 million in backing, and we're not even sure where the hell that money's going to. And these YouTubers are doing their due diligence, trying to find out that information for you, and all you're doing is redirecting them to somewhere else, and that is just plain wrong. I don't know about you guys, but I find it extremely ironic that the head of the Atari VCS, Michael Arts, who is basically a PR guy who's dealt with marketing his entire life, is outsourcing marketing to a company that does positive spins on marketing. I feel like that should be something Michael should be able to handle on his own. Not to mention, it looks even more shady when you're hiring an external company to give positive spin on something that has a lot of questions surrounding it. Wouldn't you think it would make a whole lot more sense to hire someone internally to answer the questions from a customer service perspective at your own company instead of paying $5,000 to $15,000 a month to hire an external company? And that's a whole nother question I have for concerns with this. You're paying for an external company to provide customer service. That's where some of this money from the backing is going? I'd like to think that all the money that people are putting into the actual service is either going into the Atari VCS company or into the actual product that they're making. Using this money and spending it in ways like hiring external companies, that's a little bit concerning, I'll be honest. That's not something that makes complete business sense to someone like me, who's graduated college with a business management degree. It's not a direction I would be taking my company, especially with how the situation has evolved so rapidly with the questions revolving around what the Atari VCS actually is. And while digging deeper and learning more about this whole entire situation, I found another person that's involved with Atari that's not necessarily directly involved with the Atari VCS, but his name's come up and it might come up again in the future, so I want to bring it up in this video. Todd Schallbetter, who was the COO at Atari, and you'd be forgiven if you thought that's what Michael Arts was, but Michael Arts is the COO of Atari Connect, which apparently are two different companies. Okay, I'm with you so far, but Todd Schallbetter comes up because he's the one that hired Uber strategists. Well, at least he's the one that provided the high recommendation for Uber strategists, and it's posted on their webpage. Working with Mario and his team at Uber Strategist has been a great pleasure and a sound business decision for Atari. Always pleasant and professional, they are superbly responsive, give wise counsel, and continually over-deliver. They consistently help us achieve an impressive amount of press coverage, regardless of if it's for our classic games on new platforms, brand new IP, or our connected devices, including our first major hardware platform console in decades, the Atari VCS. On our behalf, they have secured exclusives and expertly executed press events, trade show appointments, interviews, press outreach, and even advised us and helped diffuse urgent situations, always with impressive results. So clearly, this isn't the first urgent situation that they're dealing with. This is turning into a little bit of a PR nightmare for them. So they had to hire Uber strategists to diffuse the situation. I feel like the best way to go about this would just to be give information to the backers. Give information to the mass public. What is going on with the Atari VCS? The pressure is only going to increase, and there is no amount of lip service that you can give people to make that go away. Every day that passes with no information will boil that pressure even higher. At least that's how I feel about the situation. But I'd be interested to hear how you guys feel about it. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you still feel confident in the Atari VCS? Do you feel like this is a legitimate thing that's happening? Or are you convinced that it's a scam? I'd be interested to hear. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.